back at it again. The boogeyman of bad news, PlayStation slash Sony, once again bringing us some more terrible news that nobody asked for. We've got a interesting article from PlayStation blog here. Physical disc production is ending in January 2028 for new games releasing on PlayStation consoles. Why is this important? Why does this matter? Well, we're going to talk about this in just a moment. Unfortunately, I just spent the past 20 minutes talking about this with a muted microphone, so I'm going to try to do this a little bit quick and dirty rather than the full, long, drawn-out things that I had done, because I didn't script any of this, so it was all off the top of my head and it's gone to the fucking ether. So the recording is just my model flapping his gums and nothing's happening. Anyway, so they claim in response to shifting trends in consumer preference, new games will be released on the PlayStation Store and retailers in digital formats only. Digital formats only. So, if you all are unaware, PlayStation has been on a bit of a roll recently when it comes to being the bearer of bad news. They've been making sure they're the Grim Reaper of any and all studios that they bring into their fold. They've been making sure they can do nothing but disappoint you further by raising the prices on things, including their consoles and their games. But of course, they announced GTA 6 with a staggering $80 price tag, which, as you all may remember, there was a whole precedent being set by Nintendo, of all people. I'm going to try to keep their names out of my fucking mouth before they send the ninjas after me. But they ended up setting the precedent with $80 video games, starting with Mario Kart World. Was it Mario Kart World Tours? I don't know. I don't have a Switch 2. I'm not paying that much money for that. But like, I'd love to have a Switch 2, but I can't justify it. Anyway, $80 games is what we're looking at now. It was $60 not very long ago. Well, I suppose depending on how old somebody is, or how long. I guess you can say it's been a long time ago. But $60 was the absolute maximum. Before that, obviously the prices were lower and lower and lower. But now we're looking at we're currently living in an era of $70 games and $40 indie titles, things like Helldivers, which have been doing very good, things like Balatro, which don't cost anywhere near $40. We've got great indie games like Deltarune, Undertale, even the Five Nights at Freddy's games, right? All under $60 games that are affordable, because gaming was always meant to be affordable for the people, for the players, for the consumer. But now gaming is becoming something that we're all being priced out of. And not only are we being priced out of it, we are being completely removed from the equation. Our agency is being taken away, because once these companies decide that they no longer want to give you this game, to license this game to you, you will no longer have it, which is why things like the Stop Killing Games Act matter so much, because we want to make sure that we can still play our games. Even if it comes 10 years down the line, we get the sudden urge to plug in our console and play something. Here we got a GameCube. We've got like a Hulk game and everything like that. We've got like an old what's the college football, like, NC, whatever it is. We've got like old games we play. We got things like Sonic Riders, right? All these old games that we haven't touched in many years, decades even sometimes. It's very important that you are able to have your physical media so that you can go back and play those things when they matter. And now we are moving towards an era where that's not going to be possible. Where you are, if you decide that you have the urge 10, 20 years down the line to play a game that you used to play, let's say that for whatever reason you can play Helldivers offline, and come 15 years later, long since Helldivers 2 has been taken off, I'm sure, and by then in favor of whatever comes in the future, you can't do that. Because you are not going to be able to physically pop the disc in and play anymore. And once they decide that that license is gone, then it is gone. And that is why we need protections from things like Stop Killing Games to happen. So, they're claiming that they're shifting trends. The only shifting trend I can imagine is people leaving PlayStation in order to move to PC, and they're identifying the wrong issue here. But to be entirely truthful here, this is entirely about protecting their bottom line. They want to spend less money on producing games and give you the same slop or less slop for less, and they want you to be happy about it. And they also want to be able to take it away from you whenever they want to. If I have a PS3 and I decide to pop in my old version of GTA 5 in there, which did stop being updated because it couldn't handle the updates, I believe around the time that like the Diamond Casino came out. Maybe I'm a little bit wrong on that. It's been a while. I haven't played GTA 5 in a very very long time. Point being, if I decide that I want to play GTA 5 on my PS3, I could. If I decide I want to play San Andreas on my PS2, I could. If I decide I want to play Sonic Riders on my GameCube, I could. If I decide I want to play New Super Mario Bros. Wii on my Wii, I could. And that is because I have the physical disc too. When you are shutting down a store, like I believe the Wii Shop got shut down a long time ago, you can no longer do those things. If I decide 10 years in the future and I don't have New Super Mario Bros. Wii, and for whatever reason nobody has a disc to sell me, then I cannot play that game, at least not by any legal means. And therein lies another issue that I'm not really going to be getting into today. So they are claiming that there are shifting trends, and this is here's just a big ass PR statement about some bullshit that they've got going on here. Then they've got updates on the PlayStation Store and PS Vita announced also, which we are going to be going over. But the clown show actually doesn't stop. So first, we're going to get rid of Destiny 2, which has been the only game of its really type. Like there are other games that do similar aspects, but games that are in depth, whose story as well developed, who has dungeons and raids and all the other narrative decisions that have been making Destiny what it has been, that has made the community what it has made it into, is no longer going to be in production because they've laid off, half of Bungie's force, especially that being most of the Destiny force, which all they can do is kind of sometimes potentially patch out bugs and glitches at this point. But I'm pretty sure their final patch has hit. So whatever state the game is in now, unless something changes, that is going to be the state it's in. My heart goes out to all of the developers that have been affected by this. This is unbelievably horrible and unprecedented times that we're in, and it seems like the boogeyman of Sony just keeps coming, and the Grim Reaper is going to keep coming for everything that you have, love, and will ever love, because as long as they own everything, they get the oh wow, that's a fucking voice crack of a lifetime. As long as they own everything, they get to be the judge, jury, and executioner on when you get to access it, how you get to access it, and when you will no longer have access to it. When they shift to digital games from physical games, when you buy a digital game, for those of you who don't know, you are essentially buying a license. You are renting the game. You are saying, I will play this game, or I am buying this game, and if you decide that I cannot play this game anymore, I cannot play this game. And that is what happens when you buy digital. I've been on PC for about 3 years now. Switched from PC to console, and it has been very good. I prefer not paying for online play, but I do boot up my console every now and then to play, some Overwatch with my friends, or if I just want to feel the controller in my hand while I play games. Like there are Steam games that you can do that with, but sometimes it just feels good to boot up the console, sit on the couch, and play some side by side games with your friends. Well, that's not really going to be possible in the future here if we continue to allow things to get this way, and the only way that we can change this is by voting with our wallets, which we did not do with GTA 6. GTA 6 is an astronomical success, despite being the most expensive game in the fucking world, in the known universe, to have been produced with a $2 billion production budget. We've had over $2 billion, I believe over $3 billion. So I believe they've profited at least over $1 billion on GTA pre-sales. In which, by the way, the game, from what I know, is entirely digital. I don't believe there is a physical version of GTA 6, and yet people are still paying for eBay scalper GTA 6. I'm not sure what's going on there. There's literally no scarcity. It doesn't run out. That is one of the only things I can say about physical media, is that it doesn't run out. It's not scarce. Another thing I can say about physical media is, in the event that, my internet fucking goes out, I can pop in a disc. I can go to the store and pop in a disc. I cannot do that with a lot of games that come completely digital. Like I can't purchase it if it's entirely digital, right? Because I'm going to need to connect to the internet. It's what you're doing now if you're buying a physical copy. I did air quotes, which you can't see because I don't have hand tracking. Is that you are buying a case that has a code in it that you use to download, which essentially means you might as well have gone digital. The only reason that you're even going and physically buying the media is so that you can have the case at this point, which they've been making this shift for a while. They've been trying to make sure they really remove the discs from the cases, and now they're removing the cases in general, because now they've removed the need for you to physically go and get a game. You're going to have to purchase it online, and then you're going to be entirely at their whim for when they decide that you can and cannot play their game, and that is going to be a problem, especially in the near future as games continue to rise in prices. We've got, $80 base games and $100 deluxe editions now. Back in the day when games used to be $60 or even less, and right now $40 for what we're seeing for AAA, not triple. Sorry, did not mean to slander them, for AA titles like Helldivers 2. Right, we're looking at $40 for things like that. When even then AAA titles used to be about $40, and I know game production is expensive. You don't have to tell me. I understand that. However, all of these extremely bloated, inflated budgets when needing to feel the need to keep up with things, it's not worth it. And now we're entering an era where games have to sell so many fucking copies. Games have to be astronomical successes or else they're Concord level failures. It's ridiculous. But let's continue on here. I've been yapping for 10 minutes and I said I was going to make it quick and dirty, and that's not even happening. But we are looking at Domino's Pizza UK, which had a very funny comeback. It said breaking news after their tweet here of makes about as much sense as us changing to digital pizzas. Official statement in response to trends in the gaming industry as of the 1st of April 2027, obviously a joke. Domino's UK will cease production of physical pizzas and shift to production of digital pizzas only. Customers will be able to download our full range of sorry, I'm getting fucking tongue tied here, of delicious pizza codes, and using the power of imagination, for those of you who can't imagine, I'm sorry for those of you who cannot, enjoy them in an entirely virtual sense. That's fucking hilarious, and it's very funny that Domino's is the one taking the piss out of them most prominently, because it just doesn't make sense. Um, Gaming consoles and gaming as a whole was always built on the back of physical media. Like, old PC games, right? Like, most people, they do download their games for the convenience, and there's less clutter in your rooms and everything like that, right? When you have physical media, it becomes, a little bit more cramped, but that was also some of the appeal of it. You get to show off what you have, you get to show off your collection. If I wanted to play a physical game, I look over at my shelf and like, oh, what do I want to play today? Let's play some Metal Gear. Let's play Metal Gear Rising, right? Okay, let's do that. I can see that all right there. Yes, you can look at a digital library, but it's just not the same as holding physical cards in your hand. It's the reason why a lot of people prefer to play physical card games rather than digital card games. Speaking of things like Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel or Magic the Gathering Arena, some people just prefer to play in real life. But again, then there's the situation where sometimes, if you just want to try some, you don't want to make the huge commitment, then there's like trade-offs on what could be cheaper depending on what you're trying to do. But at the end of the day, physical media is always where it has always started. And that has always been the be-all, end-all. So, PlayStation had a second article that they wanted to release in the same day, which I'm not even sure why they decided to stack all of the bad news in one day. I know I keep mentioning this, keep going back to this, but it is near and dear to my heart. They killed Destiny, laid off half of the development team. Then they went, oh, but GTA 6 is coming out, guys. GTA 6 is coming out. Woo, $80 for base game that's missing features. Woo, let's do it. Let's do it. And now they are telling us that we are not going to be able to have physical disc production. And oh shit! Well, hold on. Sorry, I accidentally showed my home screen. And if you guys see that, then YouTube is going to blow my fucking channel up, so I can't show you that. But now we do have an update on the PlayStation Store for PS3 and PS Vita, both of which I am an owner of, or at least have been. So, starting this year, in select markets, followed by global changes 2027, we are going to be looking at, let's see what they've got, big announcements, I'm sure. After nearly 2 decades of supporting the PS3 console generation, we wanted to let you know that we'll be closing the PlayStation Store on PS3 as well as on PS Vita. PlayStation Store on PS3 will close in select markets starting this year, followed by global closures for PS3 and PS Vita next year. This means that new console purchases will no longer be possible once a PlayStation Store closes on these devices. To ease the transition, players will still be able to download previously purchased content after the closing date for the foreseeable future, which, big word there, foreseeable. This means that they can foresee about 6 months ahead of them, and they will probably decide that it is not worth keeping those servers up anymore and then tell you to go fuck yourself a second time. Anyway, so why is this important? Why does this matter? The console is damn near 20 years old. Actually, I think the PS3 might be 20 years old. Why does this matter? Well, one, the PS Vita did very good in Japan, from what I know. It didn't really hit globally, but that's okay. If you are a proponent of digital gaming, right, which is what they're trying to shift to, If they are going entirely digital, you're in an entirely digital age. If you want to play a game on the PS3 that you do not have access to, like let's say you want to play something like Fat Princess, right? For like the seven of you out there who know what the hell that game is, or PlayStation All Stars Battle Royale, which I believe is only available on the 3. I don't think it even came to the 4. Maybe it did. I don't know. I didn't play it on the 4. I played it on the 3. If you wanted to purchase those games, you have until basically now. If you live in Mexico, Honduras, and Nicaragua, August 2026. Additional Latin American, Middle Eastern countries, place started in late 2026. All other countries, PlayStation Store via Vita will be closed on July 2027. So you've got this month, depending on which country you're in, to make those purchases. But remember, since we're doing digital only and it is a licensing, you don't own it. What is stopping them from deciding that you don't get to keep these things? We already know that they are going to do that, and they have done that with movies. They've decided once their licenses for having the movies have run out, they can just remove them from your library. It doesn't matter the fact that you purchased it with your own money. You don't physically own the media. And because you don't own the media, you don't get to keep the media when they decide you don't get to keep the media because you are licensing it. And once more, the boogeyman strikes again because they've got us all comfortable. They got us in this digital era now. And now we get to see that rear its ugly head as the 10-year plan is finally unfolded. And we get to see that we own nothing. We are becoming more and more comfortable with owning nothing and paying more for owning less. And now we are at a stage where they are telling us that they are going to be able to take away what we have and what we can have at their discretion, and there is nothing we can do about it. And again, the only way you can make a change to this is if you vote with your wallet, which, of course, as I said, we did not do with GTA 6. We have set a precedent. We set the precedent with Mario Kart and Nintendo with the Switch 2. We set the precedent that we are willing to pay these things. And so long as people are willing to pay those things, those are the people that they're going to be catering towards. It doesn't matter if they're going to be pricing the average person out. As long as people who do spend continue to spend, their bottom line is going to be fine. So you need to make sure that if you are in a position to make a change, to make sure that you stand with your people and you do what is right. I'm not saying illegally obtain games or anything like that. I want you to obviously always own your media. You need to own your media. You need to fight for physical copies, because we are going to be in a situation where if you do not do this, they are going to decide that you don't get to keep things. And let's say a few years down the line, you want to play something like Fat Princess. You want to play something like PlayStation All Stars Battle Royale. You don't get to. Those games will be lost to time, reduced to atoms, because you're not going to be able to. And the only way that you are going to be able to play those games is with a physical copy of the game. And it would not surprise me if in, I'm presuming, 2027 or 2028 is when they're going to be actually unveiling and not unveiling, but fully releasing the PlayStation 6. It is going to be a digital only console. And the reason that I believe that is because if they're moving away entirely from disc production, it is easier on their bottom line if they don't have to worry about a disc drive, right? It is easier on their bottom line if they don't have to worry about you owning your games, if they don't have to worry about, you creating servers for, being able to pop the disc in and just do whatever you want. They don't have to worry about fighting you. You're not going to have any fight left because you won't have the ability to fight back. They are getting rid of everything that you're having and will have. And you need to think about those of you who play video games, those of you who care about video games, those of you who plan to share this with your family and maybe your children or like your little cousins, or even, you're the older folks, you prefer to keep things a little bit simple. Everything that you have, everything that you have now, you are not going to be able to have. Physical media is going away and we need to stop it, because if we do not have our archives, if we do not have our physical sets, what is going to stop them from deciding that on a month-to-month basis, no matter how upset you'll be, you can play these games? Oh, how well, we don't actually want you to do this. They're going to be able to punish us. They're going to be able to force us to accept whatever they deal out to us, and there's going to be nothing that we can do about it if we don't start now. We should have started this many years ago when they raised the prices to $70. And yes, I do understand that the cost of production for it and things like running a company, you have to be able to make money. I understand that. I also understand that they are in a position where all they're caring about is maximizing the profits, which is fine. But if they turn their back on their entire customer base, then they're not going to have a company to fall back on. And you are going to see the same thing happen with PlayStation, the same thing happen with I probably should keep their name out of my mouth, but you're going to see the same thing happen as with what happened to Bungie when I believe it was Pete Parsons absolutely grifted, said, "Hey, this company is worth this much," and then left Sony holding the bag. And now they made a $3.6 billion mistake that they are now paying for and forcing us to pay for to the future generations. So that's what I've got to say. How long is this? It's been about 20 minutes, so apparently I can't keep it short and simple. Oh wait, actually, wait. Hold on. Actually, I have an announcement. Following everything happening here, right? So, I may make a graphic, I may not, but considering that the multi-billion-dollar corporation PlayStation slash Sony, they are making the move to exclusively digital content, and they are turning their back on the basis of what they started as. I'm going to turn my back on the basis of what I started with as well. So, for those of you who do not know, which would be very impressive considering the fact that this is just my second channel, I am an ASMR creator, right? So I make audios, follow scripts, and I create like nice little experiences and fantasies for everybody to enjoy. But I decided that following in Sony's footsteps, I'm actually going to be moving away from creating digital ASMR, and I'm going to be make sure that I teleport to every one of you individually and act out the scenarios every single time. So instead of you clicking on a video, you're actually going to think about what you want to happen, and I'm going to show up at your fucking house and start whispering and breathing in your ear. Because that is the new cool thing. I'm actually going to be shifting from digital to physical to combat this. So everybody look out for that. I would say new ASMR video coming out soon, but you'll know because I'll be inside of your house holding on to you and making sure that you can't fight back. All right, of course, everybody, if you've enjoyed yourself, be sure to like, subscribe, all the other good shit, all the other algorithm stuff. Check out my ASMR if you're into that type of stuff. I really enjoyed making this video, though it completely sucks what I had to make the video about. Make sure to follow my socials on my link tree. It should be Prince Cairo VT on most things anyway, but link tree might be in my pinned comment. Actually, I don't think I can pin comments on this account yet, but it'll be down below. I'm not sure if I can even put links inside of my description yet. But yes, everybody, please do enjoy. I did have quite a good time, and I told you all I will be doing more with this channel, and I kind of like talking about this stuff. So yeah, enjoy, everybody. Have a good day, and remember that your prince loves you all. Mwah.